look at yourself from over top of your life, pull yourself out of the situation and think about, where are you really at life? Are you actually really happy? Or are you just filling yourself with distractions so you don't address what really is going on?
Today we have on Lachlan Beale.
What's
King.
up? So excited to be here. So excited to be here. I've been manifesting this for so long. Like, it's been since I was 14 when I reached out to you when I wanted to be on this podcast. And now I'm 21. It's been, 6-7 years? I told you I'd be here. I got so much to share today. It's going to be wild. It's going to be absolutely wild.
I think it was 4 years.
I think it was 4. Yeah, it literally was 4 years when I said, Corey, I'm coming on your podcast, man. And here we are. How wild is that?
Thought about it. Dude, why did you want to jump on?
Oh, wow. Well, I feel like I've just got so much to share. And this gives me a really good opportunity to tell everybody what I need to say. And with my following, it's sort of hard to reach out to all the people. So I just thought if I could jump on this podcast, I just have so much value that I just want to tell people. And I think that a lot of people need to hear it. That can resonate with me as well. And I don't know. It's just been a goal for me just to ever be on this podcast and just to give my say. I've listened to every single pod. I was like, man, I've got so much comment and thoughts on this and so much love for this podcast now that I'm here. And now it's really happening. I'm just so excited to be here.
Dude, well, where would you like to start?
Well, we can speak about a little bit about myself, I guess, so people can get a sort of resonation about who I am.
What do you do, Lochie?
Yeah, of course. So I'm a coach in Adelaide. I'm a personal trainer and nutritionist. I help men and women get their health and fitness back, but soon to be changing into another role, which is super exciting. I'm sure we'll talk about that later. Yeah. But my main goal is to revitalize the fitness industry in a way that will be remembered. So I help coach people get back into gym, get their movement back, get their food under control, and really live their life to the fullest, because I think that nutrition and exercise is the most important thing. And without it, we just aren't complete humans. Like, you could agree for that. So I help men and women just get back on track, essentially using exercise and nutrition as a tool to help them get back to their fitter self.
Why did you land on that?
Oh, wow. That starts way back to when I was like 14, 15. So when I was 14, I went through a serious injury. So I actually dislocated my left patella. So completely dislocated my left patella, which is your kneecap for those who don't know. So my kneecap went to the left, completely dislocated out of the groove. I landed on the kneecap and broke the bone. And ever since then, yeah, I know it's wild for those who are watching, or those that aren't watching, you can see like a little squirming a little bit. But I was in a Zimmer splint, which is a brace that goes from your ankle up to your hip bone, for 6 months. And I was laying in bed for 6 months at the age of 14, 15. So, everybody my age was going out, making friends, doing all the things that you do when you're young. And I was laying in bed with my leg up in the air, just looking at a roof and saying, well, shit, how did I get myself here? So when I was in that phase, I was like, how can I help people not be where I am right now? How can I help people not be in bed while everyone else is having fun? My brother was a personal trainer then. He's been the biggest inspiration for me ever since I was younger. I saw him helping people, get their fitness back on track. And I said that I can use that tool to help people not get where I was. So I think what really started me on my journey was that initial injury. And then from there, it's just progressed onto getting my name out there, competing in bodybuilding shows, having a love for health and fitness, because without it, I wouldn't be walking today. So that's really how I sort of started my entire journey, was back from that initial injury when I was like 14, 15.
And now you're getting ready to compete in IFBB?
Yeah, so IFBB is going to be in October the 1st. I'm 14 weeks out, which is wild. This is my 4th bodybuilding show. So I'm hoping to take home... Look, we all compete for different things. My journey is because I love the process. You want to win. And I want to win. I'm going to win. No, but that's October 1st. I'm 14 weeks out. I'm very excited. Starting to feel the prep feels now, but I'm looking pretty lean at the moment for those of you who are following me on social media and see my stories and stuff. So we're well on track for taking that show for the win. I'm super pumped, man. Super pumped. It's going to be great.
That's so exciting, man. So where's like the next thing that you would most like to, in terms of like value to people, is kind of like the most important topic where you think that you're most passionate about, you can provide the most value? Like, what would it be? And like, what is the value in it?
Resisting the urge to fail. That's going to be the biggest thing for today. I've been through a lot in my life at my age. I know everybody has, but the journeys and experiences that I've been at my age has taught me so many things. I've been through so many positions and times, which we'll explain about today, where if I just quit at that point in time, I wouldn't be where I am now. So I think it's so important learning how to resist the urge to fail when things get so hard and it's just the easy option to quit, to keep pushing on and pursuing, to then being able to future your goals and keep on track with them as well. I think that's like the most biggest thing that I'm really passionate about, is helping people resisting that urge and that easy opt out to just quit and just fail.
So what were the urges that you resisted?
Well, we'll start. I'll tell you my whole journey. So, when I was 15, I got my first job at a local gym back at my home. I was just a cleaner there, so I was studying my Cert 4 in personal training. I was cleaning toilets while I was doing that. I thought that I have so much knowledge and experience at this age. I was about 15. I started training about maybe 14 after my injury. And I had so much experience because when I was in bed, I was just studying, biomechanics, how the body moves, how nutrition works, what food does what, how does each muscle work, what does this exercise do, why do we do this exercise? And when I was cleaning the toilets, I saw all these people in the gym and I was like, well, you're not doing that right. Can I please just help you? So I was going around asking questions and stuff, which actually got me into a thought of, well, shit, maybe I should run a boot camp outside and help people. This was when I had my Cert 3, by the way, so I was actually qualified, for anybody that's wondering. I was qualified at the time. So I ran a boot camp at my local hometown out on an oval and actually got fired for doing that boot camp. Now, let me explain why. So I got fired from the position of cleaning toilets, my ad. Cleaning toilets. I got fired from cleaning toilets because that was a direct competition to the gym. So what? She thought it was a threat for me to be taking boot camps outside of the gym, and fired me on the spot for that. Now, right then and there, if I said, well, I just got fired from this job, I can't do this anymore. Personal training is me like, fuck this, I can't do that anymore. Then I wouldn't be where I am today. So that was my first temptation of resisting the urge to fail, was how can I use this opportunity to then better myself, learn from my experiences and continue on to my dream. Once that happened, I moved on to another gym in the Riverland. This was straight after school. I landed in a management position in a gym in the Riverland. I managed that studio for 2 years straight out of school, so 18, 19. Got dismissed from that job as well because we came to a few disagreements about the pricing of memberships. Had a falling out with the boss because I didn't agree that the prices were justifiable for how the gym and the studio was operating. Came to a term that maybe the position wasn't right for me because I didn't agree with their values and morals. They were raising prices for no reason, like ridiculous, man. Like we're talking like $25, $26 a week. For a country gym, that's pretty expensive. And back then that was pretty expensive too. So stepped down from my management position, which then lost my PT position because I was in that position being a PT and the manager as well and the group fit instructor and the cleaner there. I was like the one-man team for that gym. And that was my second urge to fail, to resist to fail. I said, okay, shit, I've lost this job that was paying me 90 grand a year at 18 years old, right? I said, well, if this is the second time it's happened when I've followed my morals and I said, like, I'm not okay with this and stood up for myself and then suffered the consequence for speaking how I felt about the studio, then is this really for me? And then that came to another point of, well, I need to resist the urge to fail. This is an experience. How can I learn from this? From then I moved out of home to Adelaide, which most of you know is in South Australia. Had no friends, no family, no support up in Adelaide. I got a role up there with Sam from the base, who we were good friends with. He was my coach since I was 16. I did my first bodybuilding show when I was 16.
He's been on the podcast. He's like number 20 or something. It's fantastic.
Yeah. That's a good pod to listen to, actually. Shout out to Sam. He's a stud. He's a stud. He's a king stud. I wouldn't be here without him. So
he's world class.
He's world class. Yeah. So I moved to Adelaide and started my business from scratch from there. So, no sort of leads, no support. I didn't know anybody. So I started my personal training business from scratch there. And that was hard for me, moving up at the age of 19, which most of you do, go to uni or whatever. But it was very tough going from, a very safe position into being a manager role, getting good money, having all of my support from my family, my friends, my clientele at the time, to then move to Adelaide to start from absolute scratch again for the third time. Why did I move to Adelaide? There was a calling. Just
like from scratch, was just like, I just wanted independence.
Wanted to meet new people. I wanted to see what it was, what I could do, what more people I could branch out to. When I was in the Riverland, I found that I hit a spot where I can no longer grow. Like this is the best that I could probably do. I didn't see any sort of financial growth. I didn't see any sort of self-development. It was the same people, the same thing, the same mindset. Nothing was moving, nothing was happening. And I said, there's something more out there. And I called Sam and I said, Sam, give me a job. He's like, yeah, sure, come on down. You can take your clients down here at the base. I was like, no way. 2 weeks later, packed my car, left Adelaide. So then I moved to Adelaide with one of my friends, stayed in a bedroom there. Went back to the house just to sleep and shower, straight back to gym floor, asking questions, meeting new members, getting more clients, building up my business. And then from there, it sort of skyrocketed. Like everyone that I've met, the reason why I got on this podcast, my coaching, my bodybuilding, the position I'm at with my coaching has all relied on like all these situations where I resisted the urge to fail but kept on pushing on has got me to where I am today. And I've learned so much from the experiences that I've had. And given that I'm being super vulnerable here, but given that I might have been in the wrong at some point in time, I wouldn't be the person that I am to now. Like, I wouldn't be the person that I am today if I didn't go through those experiences.
Like, what do you mean by being in the wrong?
So, well, obviously, like the first job that I got dismissed from was because I ran a boot camp outside that obviously wasn't allowed, or she saw that it was a threat to the gym.
So you were at a period when you sort of realized that maybe I actually like fucked up a bit.
Yes.
With those things.
With my first job, absolutely.
You had to swallow those in order to move forward.
In order to move forward. And every position that I was been in, there was either disagreements or there was something that I did wrong. And I think that's why I'm so mentally on now, because I've sat with those feelings and ingested them completely and realized that everybody makes mistakes, and that if you fall into the temptation of failure, you're never going to learn from your situations, right?
What do you mean by that, by resisting the urge to fail? Like, what do you mean by that? As in, like, you actually set yourself up for failure? Or
not that you set yourself up for failure, but life's going to hit you in your mouth, And a famous quote is like, I think was it Les Brown that said it? That said, if you fall down, make sure you land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And that meant so much to me, because every time I got knocked over, I made sure I landed on my back, because if I could look up, I could get up. And all of those experiences has led me to where I am today. Yeah. And it's made me so much more aware of who I really am, what my purpose really is, and what I need to do from here to continue on with my self-development. So every experiences that I've done, even the wrongs that I've done, has really made me the person I am today. And I'm grateful for everything that's happened, because I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for it.
Yeah. No.
Wild, right? Wild. And I'm sure that most of the listeners now can resonate that. And they said, oh, you know what? I had that job once when I stood up for myself. I had a disagreement. The boss or the CEO wasn't happy with that disagreement. And I made that decision that I need to move on, because this wasn't for me.
Yeah. So essentially you changed as well as with the moving and all of those things as well, you changed your environment and situation to essentially like take another step into another part of the hero's journey, which allowed you to express yourself in a way that you previously couldn't.
Exactly right. Yeah. And I think the biggest thing with moving to Adelaide was the hero's journey. There was a calling for me, like you say about the Hobbit, how he's stuck in his hometown and someone is calling to the adventure. I had the call to adventure to move to Adelaide, and I slayed the dragon. I followed all these temptations. I had all these challenges and all these tasks. And, I had all these brand new mentors that helped me along with my journey. And I think that if it wasn't for the hero's journey and understanding how those processes work, again, I wouldn't be here today. Yeah. And the hero's journey is really good for teaching you resisting the urge to fail, right? Like that temptations will come, the dragon will come, and you need to slay it. You can't just hold your sword and be like, shit, that's a big ass dragon. I'm not going near that. But the gold and the loot underneath the dragon is so good to resist. There's so much reward. Going through and actually slaying the dragon and learning all of the lessons from slaying the dragon, getting the gold and bringing it back home.
Yeah. And then you learnt like heaps to do with training and nutrition.
Heaps. So I really embarked myself into learning the principles of biomechanics and exercise science.
You just finished Jordan Shallow's.
Yeah. So actually I'm in Gold Coast because I just finished. Shout out to the Muscle Doc on Instagram, Jordan Shallow. God, he's such a legend,
man.
Man.
He's been on the podcast too.
Oh,
like episode 60
such
something.
A legend. Yeah, if you ever want to reach, if you want to know anything that's got to do with biomechanics or how the body moves, he's the king. Obviously reach out to me, I'll explain the best I can. But anything that I can't explain, Jordan could write a whole essay on how to do a bicep curl. Like it's ridiculous. Like you could say, Jordan, how do you do a bicep curl? And he'll reply with like a 6-page essay of the biomechanics on how the elbow flex and extends and how you get shortening and lengthening of your body. Like, it's just unreal.
We talked on one thing, I remember on our podcast, and he was just talking about how there was one connection which was crazy. I can't remember. Talking about the brain, how it connects to some part in the body.
Yep.
And he was just like, and how it was false. And we talked about it for like 30 minutes. He was explaining why, and he was just like, bro.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But the knowledge and the depth that he has about these topics, it's just unreal. Yeah. And that's where I wanted to get. Then this reflects back to my injury. You know, my first calling to adventure, my first dragon, my first, problem is I wanted to help people not be in this situation. And to do that, I needed to learn how the body moves. Yeah. And so that's why I took the deep dive into learning, strict exercise physiology, biomechanics. How does the body move? How can we move effectively through everything? And how can we make exercise not only go to the gym and get shredded, because that's not what it's about. We're exercising to make our life longer, to make our life easier. I have clients that can't even tie their shoes. Yeah. So if I could learn the applied biomechanics behind tying shoes, with my job, I can make people's life literally physically easier to live. So,
and you have the tools and stuff because like you are like quite young, you're in your early 20s, and you have built yourself a massive physique naturally, which is really, I find, so impressive. I find that I can trust people so much easier if they've built a good physique, because I'm like, oh, you understand discipline, you understand practice, you understand how hard it takes to get there, as well as someone who gets lean. So I challenge everybody, like especially once in their lifetime, to do some sort of prep, like Ben Picolsi talks about, is like to get like really shredded, because your appreciation for food changes, your appreciation for training changes, your appreciation for freedom and stuff changes. Even though it's like a big goal, it's still like a huge journey. So I like really respect that. So I think you also have there's like a whole nother skill set on there as well. It's like there's one thing that's like, yes, all the things helping people with that, but then it's like two, you can also help people to get to a whole nother level with like their brain, their body, with their food
and their mind,
and just but even still like with having the practices of that, but also it is literally because you believe like everyone knows like and every single guy that I know, when we were kids, right? Who did you want to look like?
Jordan Jalley. No. Phil Heath, for real. Phil Heath, Ronnie Coleman, that type stuff. That's who I wanted to look like. Superman, right?
Yeah, Superman, right? Yeah. We all want to look like superheroes. So it's like, you've built a body that's like that. You can help people get to there, and the confidence that you feel with that. When you've done it and you're like, you're also able to do things, move and work on your things as well, and eat right, to have all those things brings a level of confidence in you that is just overwhelming.
And the other thing I think is social media is a beautiful thing, right? It really, really is. But holy shit, can it ruin some people's mindsets? You look on Instagram and you see people with like absolutely shredded abs. Does not mean they're functional. It does not mean they're functional. You can have an absolute shredded core, but not have a physically strong core either. So where I come in is I apply the biomechanics to make us be able to move through this earth a lot easier, to make people's lives easier. That's sort of like where my goal, my original purpose started, was from that injury, was to help people not get in that position that I'm in.
And what's your specialty? Is it like helping people specifically with routines? Is it keeping on track of them so they make sure they actually happen? Because 2022, there's distraction everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, what's like your specialty in terms of actually helping people get results?
So what I find myself, if you ever reach out to any personal trainer, right, and you say, hey, Corey, what makes you different to any other personal trainer? The first thing they'll throw at you is like, I really care about my clients, which is great. But what makes me so different to any other coach or any other trainer in this industry, God bless them all, because they're all helping me achieve my goal, which is to help everybody in this earth. So I've got no disrespect for any other trainers at all, but my sort of niche, or like my motto is, when we go get coffee, I say, hey Corey, do you want to go get coffee? Why do I ask you to go get coffee? So we can catch up, right? So we can talk about what's going on in our lives. What I do is I say, okay, well, all of this is going on in your life. How about you come into the gym? Let's have a chat. So I use exercise, I use the gym, I use everything that we do in our PT sessions as a tool, as a coffee, to communicate with the person, see what's going on in their life, see what they're struggling with, see what their issues are. Because at the end of the day, people just want somebody to talk to, right? And as a personal trainer, as a coach, it's very important to listen to your clientele to see what's going on in their life. So I use the gym as a coffee. I say, come in, let's have a chat, let's work out while we're having a chat, and let's see what's really going on. Because at the end of the day, some people are just super stressed with their lives. It's 2022, there's so much going on. And what I find with a lot of my clientele is like, hey, I can help you with your mentality. I can help you build a better routine. I can teach you how to move easier through biomechanics and exercise. Let's just use the gym as an excuse to be able to have a chat about everything that's going on, while also losing weight, getting better life, getting a better relationship with your kids, getting to that 60, 70-year-old and being able to play with your grandkids still. That's why it's so important to me as well. I'm trying to make people's lives easier through nutrition and exercise.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Wild, right?
And you've got all the skills because you went through Overcome the Chaos.
Yeah,
and crushed it.
Yep.
Like 3 times.
I know, yeah. So anybody that knows the course, the OTC broke up. We're back on. We're back on.
I'll put this up here. That was me touching the thing. You're back on. So
We're back on.
Overcome the Chaos.
Overcome Chaos. So I did the Overcome the Chaos 3 times. I did the whole course 3 times.
So impressive, bro.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
impressive.
I needed it. So last year I went through a lot last year.
Yeah, breakups.
Oh, just unreal. We won't go into detail because it's not necessary, but I went through a very toxic place in my life. I had so much going on. I was so focused on my business, helping others, helping other people live their best lives, that I was too distracted to work on my own. Yeah. I reached out to Corey reached out to me. I mean, we've been talking for years and years, but I reached out to him one day and I said, shit, man, I just don't know what's going on. You know, I sleep well, my training's right, my nutrition is 100%, but there's just something not there. I'm just completely burnt out. Did the OTC course and completely reinvented myself as a human with my mindset. Decided there were some things in my life that needed to be fixed. Number one was my old relationship, which was nothing but hell, but we'll keep that on this podcast, all right? We won't tell anybody about that. But it needed to happen, you know, and it was resisting the urge to fail. I didn't want to leave that relationship because it was convenient at the time, you know, and I was too scared to call it early because I was scared of failing, you know. And it's, yeah.
And vulnerability as well.
Absolutely. And we're getting vulnerable in this podcast too. And I encourage you guys, all your listeners, if you've tuned out, bring yourself back in here, because what I'm going to say is very important here. You need to be okay with being vulnerable, because that's how we grow from our past lessons. You need to be okay with your emotions and your feelings and not push them aside with other distractions. For me, my distraction was my business, and I wasn't addressing the real issues, which was what was going on in my home life. So as soon as I left as soon as I started the course, I started to recognize all these things that relating to my burnout, my feelings, why my prep wasn't happening, why my training was shit, why I wasn't giving 100% to my clientele and my business.
Do you remember what it was in the course?
It was actually week 1, and I needed to be okay with being myself and vulnerable and getting all of my things actioned and in place before I could move on and invest into something else or someone else, or, you know, a new position in my life, which is what I did. So the OTC course definitely helped me reinvent myself to who I was as a person, which gave me the opportunity to then move on and further on with my life, which I'm so grateful for. All of the experiences that I've had in my life, the good ones, the bad ones, and the shit ass ugly ones, I would never take any of it back, because it's created the person who I am today, and I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah. What was it like? Because you made some pretty big decisions.
Massive
Especially
decisions.
at the end of the course.
Yeah, massive decision. So in week 8 is super powerful. So we do a visualization process of where you see yourself in the future. And when I was doing this visualization process, I was already on my agenda to start making changes, well and truly. Well, this was the first time I did the course. I did the course 3 times. This was the first time I did the course. And in that visualization process, nothing that I visualized in my ideal world following my purpose was where I was with the situation I am now. So I had to make some very, very, very smart changes very quickly so I can continue to live onto my purpose, which was getting out of the situation I was now, being okay with getting out of the situation I was, getting all of my things sorted back together. Because what I felt was when I was a very age, it was just go. It was taking on a new thing without being able to saying yes to everything, not having the confidence, the power, or I guess the mentality to say no.
And the support. You said you went out to dinner with the guys.
Yeah, so we did an OTC Adelaide dinner with the guys, which was just absolutely unreal. You really feel so empowered as a man or a girl or anybody who's listening to this when you have a really good supportive circle. So we went out to the OTC dinner, all the lads that did the OTC in Adelaide. And it was like a good old Viking dinner, you know. We all had steak and T-bones. And I was on prep, but we don't tell Sam about that. I just had a little bit of steak, but it was great. We went around the table and we got vulnerable with everybody. We said where we are in the position. My turn came around and I explained the situation. I said, this is the situation I'm in now. I'm in working to get myself out of this situation, but what are your thoughts? And everyone says like, bro, how the fuck are you doing that? You need to get out of that situation. And what I say to people now is that you need to look at your life like you're a bird on a light pole. Look at yourself from over top of your life, pull yourself out of the situation and think about, where are you really at life? Are you actually really happy? Or are you just filling yourself with distractions so you don't address what really is going on? And that's what I did. I removed myself from the situation. I was a bird on the light pole. I was like, fuck, Lochie, this is shit. You need to get out of here. And it wasn't like get out of the physical situation. It was get out of the mindset, get out of my habits, get out of my bad habits, get out of my energy that I was giving to people, which we'll talk about in a minute, about energy capacity as well. And I needed to give my energy and my attention to people that needed it and myself more than anybody. And at that dinner, all the guys just gave me so much support to make that decision. And now I haven't looked back, and I'm never going back to that person. That Lochie that I was 12 months ago is gone. And I'm a complete new, like reinvented person from it. And it's such a beautiful thing.
So in terms of that, for like where you're at in terms of like the transition forward, because you learned like tools, what were the like really powerful tools that now you can use to not only like analyze yourself and move things forward, but help other people?
Being completely in control of your emotions and your mentality. It's very, very, very easy to make harsh decisions and quick decisions when you're tied up in the situation. It's like having a tool belt, right? So when we start the OTC course, we have a tool belt around us that's completely empty. As you go on throughout the weeks, you upgrade to a new tool belt. You get a new hammer, you get a new screwdriver, you get a drill that's sitting on your back pocket. The more tools that you have around your tool belt that we learn in OTC gives you more ability to be able to handle situations. So if I said, oh, Corey, your front door just broke, can you go fix it? Well, hold on, I don't have a screwdriver. How the fuck am I going to fix this door? When you do the OTC course, you build your tool belt up to be able to handle situations much easier and much better.
What kind of situations? Like business, relationships, like what kind of?
Everything. I like everything, you know, like everything that happens in your life, the tools that you learn in OTC, you can overcome. Now, I know that it's very focused for business owners, but it's seriously so powerful for anybody that's unsure or has uncertainty in their life. It's the ability to be able to take a step back and say, hold on, I need to recognize what's happening. I need to not be a firecracker and get heated up in the moment when something goes wrong. I need to take a big breath in. Okay, this is what I need to do to fix this situation. Rather than getting so caught up in the situation and then filling yourself up with distractions and then not addressing the situation at all, which is exactly what I did. You know, I filled myself up with distractions so I didn't have to address the real problem. So the most important, the most valuable thing that I learned from OTC is learning how to use those tools in a heated moment and being able to control your emotions. That's the biggest thing that I learned. And we do that through understanding your purpose, going through your heaven and hell. You know, what does your hell look like and what does your heaven look like? Envisioning yourself in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. You know, if the situation, look, fellas, if you're going through a breakup right now, I can resonate with you. But think about your 3 months, your 6 months, your 3 years, your 5 years goal. Is this going to serve you a purpose in 3 years? No, move on. Because it's not going to serve you any purpose going to bed at night and shivering and thinking about it. You need to sit with your feelings and understand how you're feeling and then move on from there. Understand that this isn't going to serve you in 3 years and do everything that you can to follow that purpose and that goal that you've got in 3 years. Set yourself a goal, set yourself a task and follow it.
And so many people just don't even know what that is.
And they don't. And that's why you have the tool belt that we teach you to learn in OTC. So when you've got that tool belt and you've got all these exercises that you understand on how to function as a high performing male or girl, or whoever's listening to this, as a high performing human being, as soon as you understand those tools, it's things like self-reflection. It's things like understanding your why. Like I challenge you right now. Listen to me because this is very, very important. I challenge you right now to get out a pen and paper. If you're listening to this podcast, just pause it. Go grab a pen and paper, whack in your AirPods and put on the noise cancellation mode and listen to pure silence. Write down what is your why on the paper. Fill it out, then ask yourself again, why is that? Then don't copy it, but write something else and then ask yourself again, why is that? Do it 10 times. And when you've got that last sentence of why, what is your purpose and why you're really here, anything that doesn't resonate with that why, get rid of it. Because it's not serving your purpose, you're just too scared to get rid of it.
Yeah, which is so hectic. And now you've like fallen in love with helping a lot of the guys in the program.
Yep.
You're doing like crazy stuff because obviously like you've learned all this stuff and you're an encapsulator and use like your purpose for like fitness and health and things, and you're helping a bunch of dudes. I'd love for you to talk about that.
Yeah, cool. So actually speaking of, we might as well announce it. So as of today, you're looking at the new head and fitness coach for OTC. So because a lot of the lads in the OTC course, what we do with the tools is we manipulate our brain to how to think, how to be a better high performance male or person. But the other thing is we need to put it into practice as well. And the reason why I came onto OTC to be the head trainer coach now is to understand that everything that we learn in the course needs to be physically applied as well. So that's getting your exercise on track, is moving every day, performing at your best. Because when we move, we feel our best. Getting your nutrition under control, eating premium fuels. You know, you wouldn't put a diesel into an unleaded car, would you? So why wouldn't you be putting premium fuels into your supercar? So we need to learn that understanding nutrition. And it's sad because there's a lot of people who just don't understand that, and I don't blame you for that, but you know, that's why I'm here to teach you that. So you wouldn't be going to put diesel in your unleaded car. So why are you eating Maccas every single day? Why do you wake up like, shit, I just got no energy? Yeah, well, what did you have for dinner last night? Oh, we got Hungry Jacks. Well, there you go. You've just put diesel in your unleaded car. Why do you think you're not performing at the best that you can be? So I'm very excited to help everybody that comes onto OTC course to understand better exercise physiology, better biomechanics, how their body moves, how we can get our best bodies. Because if we can't give 100% to ourselves, our body, our home, how do you think you're going to give 100% to your wife, your kids, your job, your business? How do you think you're going to play with your grandkids when you're older if you can't even tie your shoes? How are you going to teach your kids better eating habits if you don't even have yours under control? So I think to be a high-performing person, I don't want to say male because it's very gender, but male, to be a high-performing person, you need to understand these small implement things to be able to teach, you know, your offsprings to be the best self that you can be. Because without exercise and nutrition, we have nothing.
Yeah, so true. And sleep. And that's what we want to do. We want to increase our energetic capacity so that when we get older.
Yeah, cool. So let's talk about that, because I did really want to talk about energy, and I'm just going to bring out my notes here because I don't want to miss anything. And if you're driving in your car or if you're walking and you're listening to this podcast, I just want you to tune back in because I know that you can drift off, but I just need your attention. I want you to listen to this very carefully, and I want you to write down everything that you need to. So energy costs. So why are you giving it away for free? Why are you giving?
I like that, bro. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. I like that. That's good.
Before I drop this ball on you, this very, very, very important concept, I want you to write down everything that needs to happen. So you've just done your why exercise. You can see that on the paper in front of you. If you haven't done that, pause the podcast and just go do it. But under that, I want you to write down everything that you need to happen. You know, like your college, your uni, your better marriage, a promotion in your new job.
So your goals.
Your goals. Yeah. What needs to happen? And then from there, a lot of you are operating like AAA batteries. And I want to explain this to you. So a AAA battery is enough energy to power a what? A remote control? Yeah. Maybe if you're lucky, like a TV. You can
adjust this light over
you could adjust this light with the AAA battery.
You got 3 of them.
It doesn't really generate much power. And a lot of you are generating AAA battery energy. And we want to learn how to upgrade our energy to a better battery. You know, like a car battery can power, you know, an F-150, which is like a beautiful thing. You know, there's so much energy that you can give to power such a beautiful tool, right? And you need to be careful, because if you're producing AAA battery energy and you're giving it away to people that don't value your energy, you're going to drain out very, very quickly. So we need to understand that if we're performing at a AAA battery, we need to be very careful with who we give our energy and what we give our energy to. Because I don't know if you know, but the last time I turned on my microwave, I paid for that. Energy isn't free, so why are you giving it away for free? You need to understand what you're giving your energy to. And if you're opting like a AAA battery, you need to either upgrade your battery, start performing like a car battery, a house battery, or even, you know, like a power grid. A damn generator. You need to be operating more energy so you can give more and operate more. So leading from that, if you can upgrade your battery to a car battery, you're going to be able to give more, you're going to be able to improve more, you're going to be able to think more, you're going to be able to provide more energy to your marriage, your goals, everything that you just wrote down before, you're going to be able to provide more energy to that. So what I do with my coaching, with my videos, you know, when my clients come in, what I do is I walk into the room with like 2 cables, you know, dragging 2 cables behind me. And when you watch my videos and you're feeling energetic, you know, I've got a YouTube channel. If you want to check that out, you can. But when I'm making my Instagram posts, when I'm doing my talks, when I'm talking to my clients, I get these 2 cables and I'm attaching them to my chest, you know, and I'm like lighting them up, like, I'm like, bet, let's go run through a fucking wall. You know, that's what I'm trying to provide in my coaching, is not letting people operate as a AAA battery and giving that little energy away to things that don't matter. And that's why it's so important doing the OTC course as well, because we learn how to upgrade our battery to a car battery. So then we can give more energy to things that matter and not give things away that don't matter. You know, we can't be giving energy to the things that are taking away from us.
Like you're saving more energy and then you can spend more energy.
Absolutely.
You earn more energy.
Absolutely. And this isn't, don't think about energy as like, oh, running. This is like energy in your relationships, in your business, in your mentality, your self-reflections, your longevity of your life. It's not just running. Think about energy as how we operate as humans. We need to learn how to operate as car batteries, as power grids, so we can run through that damn rule and give everything that we're doing on our journey our absolute greatest. Stop acting like a AAA battery, because energy costs and you need to stop giving it away for free.
How do we upgrade it?
This is where we're going to get deep. Have you watched the new Top Gun movie?
Yeah, I have watched the new Top Gun movie.
with Tom Cruise. So this is a really good example. So, you know, that they're flying to the mission and everything's all sweet, right? They go down. Oh, spoiler alert. But they go down this mountain and they drop the bomb on where they're designed to go. They come out the mountain, everything's all sweet. They've done the job fantastic. When they're flying back to the base, there's 2 enemy jets that come. Life is going to be an absolute dogfight. And you need to have the energy to be able to divide to your friends and family when things turn to absolute shit. If you're opting like a AAA battery and you've given all of your energy to leading up to that goal, but that dogfight comes, and trust me, life is going to hit you in your mouth, and you got to do me a huge favor. You need to be using more energy to be able to help your family and friends return back to base, return back to home. And that's why that Top Gun movie was so good, because when I watched that scene, I was like, holy shit. So how do we implement this? Look, what I'm trying to say for you is we don't have time for people's negativity. You need to learn how to cut people out that are draining your energy. I'm consulting now, you know, like you can take my time and energy. You can hit me up and talk to me for an hour, but I'm going to charge you for that. You take an hour of my time, I'm going to charge you $100 for that, because I need to recharge my battery after I've given you all that energy. Energy is not for free, so stop giving it away for free. But she's my sister. I don't care. She's taking away your energy. Get rid of her. If she's showing you negativity, get rid of her. But it's my best friend. I don't care. If he's taking your energy away and you're operating like a AAA battery, get rid of him. But it's my marriage. I don't care. If it's draining your energy and you can't produce enough for it, get rid of it. We need to stop acting like AAA batteries. We need to start opting like car batteries. If you want to save that marriage, if you want to save that relationship, if you want to get the relationship back with your sister, your best friend, your cousin, I don't care who it is, you need to learn to upgrade your battery, because as soon as you run out of energy, that's it.
Yeah. So you're essentially saying as well, because getting rid of it sometimes will be hectic for some people to take on.
Unreal,
it's
right?
more just saying, but it's more saying like it's learn to prioritize yourself and protect yourself first for all the things that are draining your battery. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So then you can protect that. Take some time to focus on you, recharge that up. Maybe a difficult conversation to have.
Well, here we go.
If it was your sister or your partner or something,
Absolutely.
it's like, hey, like we need to work on these things. I need to focus on me for a bit. Like whatever this is to charge me up so I can be a better partner for you. Like I'm going to take a holiday for a week by myself or something.
Get rid of people that are draining your negative energy. That are giving you negative energy. You know, I think that if we're coming home from work and we're on a phone call and our hands free, we're driving our car and we're on a phone call to our CEO, we've just had a shit day. You're giving 40% of your energy to that phone call, right? Of straight up negativity. If you're a AAA battery that's 100% charged and you've just given 40% of your energy to this negativity, you come home, you can only give your kids 60%. You can only give your wife 60%. You can only give your home life 60%. We need to learn to stop giving away our energy to negativity. And once you can learn how to control that, how to choose where your AAA battery goes, or hopefully for you soon your car battery, you'll be able to give more into your relationships, give more into your family, give more into your business, give more to that promotion, give more into uni. Stop giving away your energy for free.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'd be like, if I take myself personally in this, like I'd sort of manipulate that sort of theory a little bit for a mindset around it is, like for me, let's say if I was having some sort of difficulty in my relationship and I was experiencing negative energy from that, then I would take the responsibility for myself to be like, okay, cool. So there's just like a communication thing here. Obviously in relationships, we both want to give each other love. And for some reason there's something, negative happening like within this at the moment. What I do is like, well, firstly, I'm going to try to figure out and hold a container for this so that we can charge our energies back up together.
Absolutely.
In terms of like, okay, so if there's negativity experienced here and there's been so much positivity in this and I want to get that back, for example, I would do something where it's like, okay, for me personally, there's some times where I would actually lean into the negative energy and be like, okay, we need to be here and sit in this negative energy for a little while, figure it out, and then work our way with both the intention and communication of, we can actually get out of this and charge it back up.
I agree.
Together. I do think that there's some periods of time where like, when it's like someone who's really important, like, okay, we can actually do this together. But I do like the theory in terms of understanding like where people are at with things, where it's like, okay, there's some like negative energy here for this, whatever it is. It's like, that's a real good signal. That's like, oh, my battery is getting drained. And this is like, and I don't want to be giving this away for free or whatever it is. And what I need to do here is, this is a great symptom of like, I actually need to charge myself back in somewhere. And I can do that, whatever the charging back is, could be a difficult conversation. It could be a little bit of time to yourself. It could be readjusting like, okay, I actually can't give all of my value to my employees. I can't give all my value to my clients because at the moment I'm spreading myself a little bit too thin. So I need to change things around in terms of either finances or in terms of work offering or hiring or whatever it is to get that, like, let's get back to a car battery. And I think, like, correct me if I'm wrong here, because I'm just trying to like really internalize this, that in terms of actually turning yourself from like AAA batteries to a car battery, I'm assuming that that's like techniques and priorities and boundaries that you understand that are like put in place. So then you're like, oh, actually I can operate at a car battery because of like understood all of these like boundaries and understand myself really well. And I prioritize myself and I can figure it out and I can have difficult conversations and stuff like that. And like, because I can do those things, I've got a damn car battery.
And what are some physical things that we can do to upgrade to that car battery is one, getting your nutrition under control, moving all the time, getting an exercise regime happening, removing negativity from your life. You can't upgrade your battery if you're still giving away so much negativity. So it's learning how to cut those things out, which is exactly what I did. I cut the things out that were giving me negativity. I was giving, my energy to this negativity. So the practical things that you could take away from this conversation, because I know there was a lot, and I know that we went balls deep just then. But so you're probably thinking, well, shit, Lochie, I understand what you're saying, but what are some practical things that I could do right now to upgrade myself to that car battery? What do you mean? Well, number one is first you need to remove your negativity, because if you upgrade your car battery, you have more energy, you're just going to give away more negativity. So all purge. So you need to learn to say no to the negativity, the things that are charging.
I'd like to challenge you on this one.
Sure.
What about the people who are in the situations where it's like there's negativity, but they can't let it go? Like they actually can't, where it's like in their life and they're stuck in that position. Well,
I want to challenge that person then, because if it's not serving your purpose, are you sure you can't really get rid of it? Like, I want you to have a real deep think. You say, Lochie, like, I understand where you're coming from, but you're so young, you just don't get it. I do get it. I've been there. I've done that. Age is irrelevant. But if you are really giving so much negative energy and it's draining you, is that really worth not getting rid of? You might say, oh, Lochie, but I can't get rid of this, like it's draining my negativity, whatever situation you're in, but it's just something I can't get rid of. Well, I challenge you. Is it actually really something you can't get rid of? In 6 months' time, in 1 year's time, in 3 years' time, when you've completely removed that negativity, are you going to regret it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because we need to be giving 100% of our energy to things that matter, not things that don't matter. Cut them off. Energy isn't free, so stop giving it away for free.
I like that. And then when you're also at the position as well, it's like to challenge you again with this, what about the people who you said, well, if it's not aligned with your purpose, why would you get rid of it? Then what about the people who don't have goals and purposes?
Well, then are they really aligned with your purpose?
I mean, what if they don't have a purpose?
Follow the OTC course. No, that's a good question. If you're really struggling to find out your purpose, I do highly suggest jumping on the OTC course, because what we do is we work very closely with you to understand your purpose. But not everybody is a business owner, and I understand that. I get that. Not everybody needs to have a purpose, although I highly recommend that you have some sort of purpose in life. But if you're sort of just floating through life and you don't have a purpose, you're still going to have negativity coming up.
Yeah.
And you still need to learn how to say no to those things.
I would encourage them people just to regardless of overcome the chaos, whatever it is just to literally Google, figure it out, try to find some sort of meaning.
Yeah.
That isn't beauty or danger. You know what I mean? Some sort of like meaning, because obviously we learn this in overcome the chaos stuff, but if it's a girl and you're like, oh, I've got a purpose in here, and this is like a girl, then you've attached something that's not to you, that's just filling a hole. And then if it's like, oh, I'm going to take up motorbiking or, fishing or
Hobby syndrome.
Hobbies all around the place. Or, this sort of thing. I mean, hobbies are awesome. Like, freaking love hobbies and doing fun stuff all the time. But it's more like if you're attacking the hobby for a reason of like, I just don't have that thing in my life, so I'm going to try this. I think it's fine to try heaps of bunch of stuff. I think it's the best thing ever. Try heaps of things until you find actually what you like.
Yep.
But if you're just stuck in that loop of just keep trying stuff and you don't know what it is, I just encourage people just to, even read a book, start with Why or something, Simon Sinek, or that's like a very easy one. Any of his YouTube videos, brilliant.
Yeah.
Any other sort of books on purpose or meaning, Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning.
Oh, so good.
What a great book.
So good.
What a great book. They help you sort of figure all that stuff out.
Yeah.
So
I think one of the best quotes I've ever heard, I'm sure it's from Joe Dispenza, is your personality defines your personal reality. And that's something that I resonate so well with. So we need to define what a purpose is, because it can be super overwhelming. I highly encourage everybody to have a purpose in life, but you might be thinking, well, what is a purpose? It's something that you're passionate about in your life that you see yourself achieving. So if you find that your personality is always so negative, is always so caught up in distractions, jumping from hobby to hobby, what do you think your personal reality is going to be like? We need to learn how to understand, to control our mentality, our feelings, and who we're giving our energy to resist that urge to fail, to then create our personal reality. Like life is how you see it, the world is how you see it, and it really is. It really, really is. Everything is a perception, and your personality creates your personal reality. So if you can just flick that switch and learn how to give your energy to the positive things and have a purpose to follow, it's going to change your personality. And I'm talking like in weeks. If you can get your personality under control and find out what your purpose is and really what you want to be here for, your personal reality is going to change real quick.
What's your purpose, man?
What's my purpose? My purpose is to fully indulge in life's experience and to completely revitalize the fitness industry in a way that will be remembered. Yeah. That's my purpose. So anything that isn't in line with my purpose, look, it's selfish, it is. But anything that doesn't resign with my purpose, I'm giving negative energy towards, or the negativity is coming in, I need to remove that, because I'm 100% invested into my purpose, and this is what makes me happy, and this is what I want to do. And if you can't be on that journey with me, I'm sorry, but you need to go.
Yeah. One thing that I would say to like integrate that as well is, which I think you can add into it is, in terms of, I wouldn't say like negative energy and stuff, but if there's like potential for things to grow and that things got to be uncomfortable sometimes in a negative way,
yep,
in a short term to do that is like, I think, an exception to the rule. But yeah, for sure. I think,
like when you're having a day and like everything at home is good, your relationship is good, your work is good, you're driving your car, you're listening to music, and you're like, oh fuck yeah, life is so good right now. Life is so good.
Please, just remember exactly what you're going to say. Like, please take a screenshot. Man, it comes up so much with people that like I work with. Because I want to hear like what your experience is. I think we touched on this as well. Is like, as soon as you actually do understand your purpose and like you get that meaning and fulfillment, you're like, oh my gosh, what I'm doing right now is right.
Yep.
Is you can hear music.
Absolutely.
And you can't just hear it. You feel it. You're like, whoa, I haven't felt or heard music in so long.
Yep.
But you can hear it now.
Mm-hmm. Wild, right?
And that?
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt when I understood what my purpose, like when I was going through my way exercises and I found out what my purpose was, it's like everything was just so much brighter, so much clearer. I was driving to work, putting on probably the same song that I listened to 20,000 times. I'm like, it just sounds so different. But where I was going with this is, like when you're having a good day, everything's sweet at home, you're driving to work, you put on your music, you feel fantastic, right? But then as soon as a situation or a negativity or a roadblock comes up, it can completely change your mood. That song doesn't sound the same. That drive to work isn't the same. Home isn't the same. If we can learn to understand our purpose and to learn how to say no and cut off this negativity, we don't have that, I guess, temptation to fall into that bad personality. Your personality creates your personal reality. And if you can maintain your purpose and your happiness in life, that drive to work every day is going to be sweet.
And I think one thing that was really beneficial to that is like good diet, good nutrition, good movement, good sleep, all those things, having a plan to follow so you don't have to think about it. You can just go in, crush it, and it puts you in a better energy.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're not 100% operating as who you are as a person, if you're not 100% charged, then how do you expect to give 100% to anybody else? How do you expect to give 100% to your marriage? How do you expect to give 100% to your kids, your family, your work, if you're not operating 100% yourself? We need to move back to the basics and understanding that important nutrition is how our body feels. Exercise is how we feel good about ourselves. It releases dopamine, which is a feel-good hormone. If you're not incorporating these simple things, then you're obviously not going to be able to stay on track with your purpose and feel good every single day.
Dude, what gets you like the most hyped and passionate? What hypes
Pre-workout?
you?
No. What hypes me up? Shit, I get such a high on testimonials that I get from my clientele. Yeah. You know, like I do daily check-ins with my team every single day. I know people say, oh, Lochie, that's crazy. You check in with your clients every day. Fucking oath I do. Every single day. Because another reason why I became a trainer is because I want to be the coach and the trainer that I wish I had when I was 14. And you know, what I wanted when I was 14 is somebody to just say, Lochie, you're doing a good job. Hang in there. Everything you're doing is good. Your training is good. Your nutrition is good. I just wanted a little bit of support, reassurance, and accountability. So what really gets me going is when I get a message from one of my clients in the morning saying, Lochie, I've woken up, I'm a kilo down, I feel fantastic. My meals yesterday were spot on. I'm so excited for our PT today. I've just got this promotion from work and everything just feels right. Fuck oath, it feels right. That's what really gets me going, is like seeing people achieve success and happiness through what I'm trying to teach. It's just so powerful. It's just such an amazing feeling to describe. And I'm so grateful for everybody that has trained under me or that has crossed my pathways and felt my energy, because what keeps me going is those people living their best lives. And it's just such a good feeling.
Tell us about an emotional time. I'd love to hear about like an emotional experience.
Good or bad or ugly?
No, like a good one that you had with your clients, like you know that.
Yeah. So, wow. So what I've embarked on lately is I work with a lot of NDIS kids. For those people who don't know what NDIS is, it's basically a disability support for anybody that has a disability. It's like a funding program. And for the last 3 or 4 years, I've been working with disabled clients through NDIS and disabled kids as well. And a real emotional time is like seeing those kids come into the gym for the first, 1 to 3 weeks, feeling really down, lethargic, unsure. I know it's pretty harsh, but useless, like they feel useless. When they come into the program and into the gym and embark on everything that we set out in our program, that smile that they have when they come into the gym, when they're excited for their PT, because it's not only just exercise, it's the mentality that we teach behind the exercise. It's the discipline that you need to keep. It's the goal setting. It's the understanding of, life's not so bad and look how great we can do when we move a little bit more. I think that's the most rewarding thing for me, is seeing those kids, those disabled kids, completely change their life just through movement and mindset. I think that's the biggest high for me, and that's when I get super emotional.
Was there a moment that you remember that you can picture, like an
specific? There's been so many, like so many. I think like the biggest thing for me is like when a client comes to me and they jump on the scale or we do our weigh in or our skin folds and they say that they're finally 10 kilos down. And it's just like everything that they've dreamed of, like when they come to me and say, look, I just really want to lose 10 kilos. And when they achieve that goal, they feel like they can do anything, right? They're like on top of the world. And that's why health and fitness is so much more than just going to the gym and doing barbell curls. It's understanding how to stick to a long-term goal and chasing after it, resisting the urge to fail, because it's going to get hard. Like exercise and nutrition is a very, very hard thing, but understanding that when things get hard and you stick to it and you follow through with your goals, and when you do reach that glorious paradise of whatever your goal is, that was the biggest thing for me. I can't remember a specific time because it's happened a lot, but just that sensation and the emotion that my clientele give off when they've reached that goal, it's just what keeps me in my job. I live off of seeing people happy. It just makes me so happy seeing other people smile. I just love it.
Yeah. what would you say to people who, for example, are just like at that stage where they're like, oh, that'd be nice. I wish I could do that. Like,
I've got a script for this because I get it all the time. Every single consult I get, I say, well, what are your goals? And I say, well, they want to do this, this, and this, but I just can't do it right now because this, and this. I say, well, why not? Why can't you do that? What's stopping you back? Oh, I've got this going on and I've got this holiday going up and I'm a little bit financially unstable at the moment. I just don't have time. And I'm like, okay, well, you're giving your AAA battery energy. You're giving off this negative energy. What happens if we just cut this out, and this out? And that goal seems a little bit more realistic, doesn't it? They're like, oh, yeah, you know what? It does. I was like, okay, well, let's make it happen. And then they don't believe me. I get them on the course in 6 weeks. They've achieved their goal, whatever it might be, because it's not just losing 10 kilos. That's a very stereotypical goal. I have clientele that want to have better time management. They want to have better marriages, that want to have better relationships, that want to get out of like either body dysmorphia or eating disorders. And they just say to like, Lochie, you've completely changed my life. What you're doing is so simple, but it's so effective. I don't know where we're going with this, but I just wanted to share that because that was very special to me. Like just that feeling and those testimonials that I get that, personal trainers, not just me, like all personal trainers out there are literally changing people's lives. It's just so powerful.
Yeah, I do think personal training is actually really underrated.
Oh, so underrated.
I know it's out there because it's just like jammed in terms of like social media and stuff for like marketing and things, but I think it's very underrated.
Yeah.
Like actual having like a good personal trainer is like...
Make sure if you're looking for somebody that, if you're stuck and you need a little bit of help with your exercise and nutrition, or you're just unsure.
Motivation to do it, man. Because coming up with a plan sometimes it's actually really complex. It's really hard. And it's having someone to just like support you, stick to the plan, go through the stuff, and have the plan sorted. Because I know getting into comp prep now, I'm getting a coach and being a business owner myself, running everything. I'm like, oh my goodness, I cannot do this by my damn self.
Well, what I do with my consults, the very first thing I do is we sit down, we have coffee. I say, okay, well, let's build a relationship because you're going to be investing time into me and I need to know that you're okay with this. And I need you to know who I am as a person before we get really comfortable with each other. So before you go looking for a coach or personal trainer, please don't hire a rep counter. We're not there to count your reps. We're there to improve your life. Ask the right questions. Ask them how they're going to benefit you. What are things that you offer? And just ask, because if the trainer or the coach can't explain what they're doing, why they're doing it, and how it's going to benefit you, you've hired a rep counter. So when you're looking for a coach, there are a lot of coaches out there, and there are very good ones, and there are some rep counters. We want to avoid the rep counters. Try find a coach that's good for you. Ask the questions, ask what they're going to serve to you, how they're going to benefit you, and go from there. And it's the best investment. You never look back and say, shit, I regretted doing that.
For sure. Do you mind just the double click? 1, 2, and again. Nope, and one time. Woohoo! Yeah, we're on.
Right, how are we going?
So, in terms of people, like if you were saying for someone in terms of, they were at that position in their life where they really just wanted to invest in themselves. They're at that position where they're like, oh, cool, I just really want to I'm at that moment where I just need to turn inwards and like work on me for practical tools and stuff. Like, what would you suggest them?
Oh, God, I've got the perfect answer for this. And this is something that I resonate with myself. If it scares the living shit out of you, that's the first thing you need to do. That's the first thing that you need to address. No. Listen to what I just said. Listen to what I said. If it scares the shit out of you, do it. Because that's the biggest thing that needs to be addressed first. So if I could give anybody practical advice to that, if it scares you, do it. And do it first.
All right, man. I love that. Well, for everyone who's listening as well right now, I like to give the listeners, firstly, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, of course.
Where are you at?
Where can't you find me? God, I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. I'm like in the Gold Coast. I'm in Perth. I'm in Adelaide. I'm in the Riverland. I'm Australia-wide, baby. Where can you find me? Well, I live at the base. I literally live there. Like I live there. So if you come at 9 o'clock at night at the base, I will be there. So if you want to come see me and head down to the base, it's in Parafield in Adelaide behind that big ass Bunnings building. Come meet me. Come meet the team. Come meet Sam. I'll be happy to have a chat to you. Social media wise, Instagram, Lachlan Beerley with an A. It's not an O. If it was with an O, it'd be Lachlan. It's Lachlan, Lachlan, and my last name's Beerley, Biele. Find me on Instagram, give me a follow, send me a message because I will reply straight away. If you got any questions about exercise physiology, about your nutrition, or if you're just feeling down in the dumps, I'm a really fun guy. Come and talk to me. I'll be able to help you out. My website is www.lbhealthfitness.net. You can find me on Facebook, just Lochie Beerley. I have every social media. Just type in my name and I'll come up. Literally, if you just Google Lochie Beerley, I'll literally come up straight away.
Yeah, you'll be tagged and everything below as well.
Yeah.
Also, for people, I like to get the listeners, one challenge.
Okay.
Get the speakers to challenge the listeners. After all the things that we've sort of talked about, in terms of one challenge that they could implement today or like this week for what we've talked about, like after this podcast,
Yep.
what would you love to challenge them to do?
The biggest challenge I want you to do is the first thing that scares the living shit out of you.
Go back to that.
Embark on it, because that's going to be the biggest step
How
for
do
you.
they do that? How do people do it? If there's something scaring the crap out of them, like
It depends what
what's the step?
scares you. First of all, reach out to a coach.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. And believe it or not, every good coach has a good coach. I have a coach. Corey has a coach. Every trainer or every coach out there has a coach. Reach out to a coach, because the best investment is on yourself, because it comes with the best interest. Oh, guess where I learned that? OTC, sign up link below. Reach out to a coach. That's going to be your biggest thing, because sometimes all you need, you already know how to do it. You don't need to hire a personal trainer to go in the gym and click start on a treadmill. Sometimes it's just the accountability and reassurance. So reach out to a coach. Get to know your coach first, whether it be mindset, hypnotherapy, nutrition, exercise, business, whatever field you're in. Reach out to somebody that can teach you, because if you're not learning, you're dying. And that's what I live by. So reach out to somebody, get some extra support, get some accountability going, get a program going, and then just go absolute balls to the walls. Because if you come and see me, like I said before, I'm going to bring in those cables, baby. I'm going to plug them up to your chest and buzz you up, and you're going to be ready to run through a wall. So just make sure that you're fully invested into going into your coaching, and just give it your absolute all, because you won't regret it.
Man, absolutely love that. Thanks for coming on to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Peace out.
Boom.